I made it back home safely. Da, da, da. And it's 5:33 on the ninth. And it's so funny too, because I knew that there was some moon thing or whatever coming, but also I think everything's bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. So um, I had to. We got back, and it was dark, and so I left. It was just going dark, and so I left, and I went down, and I got gas, and my daughter texted me, and she said, "Oh, I forgot to give you your lotion." Because it was full size, and she had checked her bag, so she had my lotion in her bag. So I was like, son of a bitch. So I decided to turn around and go back and get it. And so then when I turned around, that's when I saw the moon. I was like, what in the holy hell? How, what? And it was so fucking fake looking, I can't even tell you. And it was so low and so huge. And I swear there was one time, it was a few years back, and it was like around Halloween or something, and it was really big, huge, and it was really low, and it was really bright, like yellowish, orangish kind of color. And they said, "Oh, it's the harvest moon." They're just naming shit. They don't know what the fuck's going on. So then, so when I turned around, and it was like, what? It was so fucking, it was like right, like you're driving, and it's just right there. I was like, oh my God. So I was trying to do a video. I'm driving. I'm like, I'm going to get in a wreck. So then I had to wait until, I don't know. I think I did it while I was driving at a stoplight or something. But I wanted to make sure I got it. And then when I got there, I got out of the car and I got another one, but there was like clouds going through it. It was so weird looking. I couldn't even believe it. And did I already say it's 5:33 on the 9th? And then that's 569, not 369, but it could be 3 because you did the 3, then it adds 6, and then it's on the 9th. I don't know. They're all onto this now. It's the 999 portal. They've always got. Anytime the numbers line up, it's a portal. You know, there's portals all the time. So, and portals aren't like, I don't know. They just look at things so weird. I just don't get it. But anyways, so I got out of the car and I got another video of it. And I was like, this is just weird. I don't care what it bases. And then so I was just on TikTok just now after I've been packing the car. Man, I was up late packing the car. And now I was just packing the car again and getting, like, I've got to still get the stuff out of the freezer and stuff and put in the ice chest. But I've got to take a lot of stuff because it's going to be like over a week, especially because I'm going from, when I leave there, then I'm going down to Boise. It's not all the way to Boise. It's down, I don't remember if I already said it. It's along the Snake River where I'm going. I'm so excited. I can't even tell you. I'm so freaking excited. And see, the thing is too, is because, I don't know, in different conversations with my brother. He's the youngest and I'm the oldest. And we used to be really close. We went on vacations together. We have lots of history together. He moved in with me when he was young, and he helped me. And that's when I was leaving the first husband. He's got all sorts of nightmare stories. He was scared. He was scared that he was going to kill me. And he said that that's why Mom was sending him there, was to help me or protect me or something. Which I was like, either I don't remember that, or this is new news to me. But anyways, but we had a lot of history together, and then we went on vacations together. And he's been married to the same person since they were 19 and 20 years old or something. So I've known her, for a long, long time. And we're close. But then I moved out of California, and they've been in California the whole time. And anyways, so we've been talking about the place. Oh yeah, because I had said, well, my plan would be to build a house out there. And I showed him these log kit houses. They're fucking cool as shit. And he's like, oh, Kelly, that's like $1 million. This is a trap. They're just trying to draw you in. These houses got to be $1 million. And I'm like, I don't know. He's like, they're solid wood. They're all wood, and they're fucking cool as shit. I'd have to tell you which website it is, but you can look up log kit houses and go through and see it. And this is, these ones are really cool. And they do the plans. They have all the wood already comes. They set up a builder that's close that can put it together and stuff. And then I think you still have to get somebody to do plumbing and electrical or something. I'm not sure about the whole thing, but when you're manifesting, you manifest. You go in a direction, and when people just don't. It's just so funny because I was even saying something to my daughter that I said. There's things that I do that people don't understand, but I'm going in a certain direction. That's what manifesting is. You go in a certain direction and people don't understand. And so if I tell you this or that, it's not going to make any sense. You have to just see it play out, but that's, you're going in a direction. And it's a direction that was already like, yeah, okay, it's like you're playing with a cat. You got a cat toy. And you're pulling it and wiggling it, and so it's pulling your attention towards something. The thing is that, hold on, let me finish this. The thing is that when you do that, a lot of people don't go seriously towards what it is being dangled. Because it's too far-fetched. It's too out of reach. How would I ever get there? Doesn't make any sense. I can't value myself, so how can I have something that good? But you go towards it. It's like your soul showing you, like, oh, you could have this. Why don't we go this one? But like I said, so many people in this realm get so trapped in, like, that's the influence of the darker energy getting you to chase things that aren't yours. And then when you start chasing what is yours, they make you feel like something's wrong with you. But when you're going towards what is yours, your life plan, then it's like you're manifesting it. You're going towards it. You're creating it. You're building it. So you're going towards it. And so to me, it is like manifesting is how, like, I manifested to live on the river. Now I'm going out there. We'll see what happens. But the oh yeah, and the dog. I gotta talk about the dog thing. So manifesting going towards the river like that. Like I said, it's so funny too to me, in my perspective, is because I was kind of all over the place on, what do you want? What do you really, really want? And I was like, do I want to live on the lake? Do I want to live out? And being out here, my mom, so there's all these different things. Like, look at how the lake lifestyle, the houses, the whole dynamic. And then driving to, and I lived rural. I've lived in the city. And then when I drive over to the groomers, then driving through the mountains, and there's like all these big pieces of property with these big fucking houses, or these like ranch, like barn, all these buildings, like cool ass shit, the whole freaking way out, and so it's like, man, do I want to live like that? And I would like think it through, because I want to live by water. And then if you believe in astrology, like, I'm a water sign, birthed into a water sign, but there's other parts of your sign that make significance about your life journey, because your ascending is a big part of it, and that's not a water sign. And then for me, and then but I'm very drawn to the water. I love the water, even though I'm like, I'm not getting in the ocean. There's fucking things in there that eat ya, and the lake's got bacteria, but this is a river. It's free flowing, and I don't know. It's like this, because I always think about the tribes, and they're like the nomadic tribes, and staying close to the rivers, and always be like, all the different tribes throughout time had to be close to the rivers, to the water. And so anyways, it's like going back to your roots or something in your soul. So it feels good. It feels like, oh, that's where I belong. And so So I'm excited about that. It feels like going home in a sense, even though this is a whole new experience. And and it was kind of stressing me out too because rivers can be so, but he's in a part that's shallow, and it's really far across, and then it still has boats go through, so you can still go out. It has this island out there that I guess a lot of people hunt on and stuff, but there's this island. Even his road is something about the island, and so um, I I don't know, just it's like meets all of these things that I was desiring. And then you can look at it as like, were you coming up with the desires, or the desires making themselves known to you? And it was always where you're going. That's more how I believe. And then, so let me think, because I was having like boom, boom, boom. Gotta organize my thoughts. So, so oh yeah. Okay. So I had been all over the place thinking like I'd be driving over here. Is this how I want to live? 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 And so I was really trying to get in tune with myself, my core. I was like, how do I really, really want to live? And I was going around this part over here on the drive when you drive into town, going around the river, and there's these houses that are on the river, so they don't have any other place. There's nobody across the street from them. There's in the distance between the houses is way bigger. Not like in the lake where they're just like next to each other, and rich kind of, I don't know. This is, I don't know. I like a little bit of distance, and so, and the room to put other buildings and stuff, because I want to have like a art studio room. You know, I want to have more things, and more space. I want to fill my space with things that are interesting. A greenhouse. I love these greenhouses that where people have all these plants and a bathtub inside. Like those are so cool. And so, anyways, you know, you gotta get creative when you have your own space. That's why they want to take away our creativity and lock us down in all these little fucking cubicle life. No yard, no space. No, you can't touch the walls. You're just a droid. So, so anyways, as I'm driving past this and I'm thinking about it, and you know, how do I really, really want to live? And there was this house, and it was sitting on the river. It had some outbuildings and stuff, and it's going around. It's like not. It's like that's it right there. That's how I want to live right there. And I was like, that is it. That's the way I want to live. That's how I want to live. And which is kind of close to stores and stuff. Like it's not very far from small. Like you still have to drive into town, which this is the same. It's got a little small place, but then you have to drive into town to go. I mean, I guess there's little markets and stuff like where I was living and stuff. And I don't think it's 30 miles like how I was having to drive. So, anyways, I was like, that's it. That's how I'm gonna live. And then it was like, look how quick it all started falling into place, because my brother and my mom were talking, and I didn't know. I had no idea. And but he wanted to get out there and see me face to face. He wanted to also see like if I was, you know, where I was in my journey of life. If I was, you know, just out there kooky, irresponsible, like, and so anyways, got to talk to him, got to talk to my sister-in-law, and they're excited too, because then there's somebody watching over their land too, and somebody's out there caretaking, taking care of things, and then plus doing work and help, you know, because he's been working on it for 8 years. And but the thing why he wasn't building is because of all the bullshit with the permits, and he said it's fucking bullshit. And there's a HOA who causes restrictions. Can you believe that? They fucking stick an HOA out there along this space of the river. But I guess he said apparently it's so they don't want people just to come out there and fill the space with trailers, and you know, which is, you know, I can see, because yeah, you can go out to some places along the river and you know, there's a place right up at my mom's corner before you turn off the highway. And he was a little out there, I guess, and his mom died. And so I'm pretty sure he's the guy who, either she left in the house or something. There's something. But anyways, he's turned the whole yard into a junkyard. It's just like fucking old cars, old RVs. Yeah, just, oh my gosh, my mom's always saying something. And especially because she knew the lady who lived there and what he's done to the place and stuff. But see, that's what they don't want to happen out there. They don't want people to just go out there, and so they have restrictions on what you can put. But then I know what Donald's also doing is creating freedom, but he's also bringing the standard up. So he's doing a lot of things to change, which there's a lot going on. The fraud is being exposed right now. There's some other stuff that I was just, when I was on there this morning looking on TikTok, 'cause everybody was talking about the moon. Everybody's like, what? Especially because I guess the full moon, it was supposed to be today, and it's already been going for like 2 days or something. So there's always weird shit, man. But so anyways, that's what I kept seeing, but I saw some different videos like of some stuff that's going on, which I was, on the way back, my daughter started saying something about something, and I was like, yeah, but that's not true. And she's like, oh my God, we're not talking about this. I'm like, yeah, let's not talk about it, because I'm telling you it's true. And it's not true. Like, I don't know where you're getting your information, but that's not true. And I tried to explain to her some of the stuff, like, and she's like, well, this is going on. That I said, this shit has been going on for fucking hundreds of years. And everybody just goes about their business, not paying any attention. And I said, that's why it's come to the surface, to get your attention. But it's been going on and on and on and on. Like, the shit over in the Middle East, like, all this stuff has been going on for fucking forever. And, but, you know, nobody paid attention. Nobody cared. Were they teaching a real thing? Were they were? No. So it's all coming to the surface because it's to wake us up. It's for us to start kicking back and start saying, fuck this. No, we're not doing this anymore. And, but it's us. We're the change. And, but anyways, it was just more confirmation. You cannot get some easy. And I was just like, just, and she's like, I'm not talking about this. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not either, because there's nothing to fight about. It's going to show. You're going to see. It's going to happen. So just, so yeah, I'm not going to fucking fight about it. I'm not going to try and convince anybody or whatever. It's like, this shit is happening. It's going to go. And so when I was telling my brother, like, well, I want to build a place out there, and showed him the kind of place that I'm looking at. And he's just like, what? I'm like, Kelly, you realize that's $1 million house? And it's like, but you see, he doesn't know the changes that are happening. He doesn't know what's about to occur and stuff. And so what seems far-fetched to some people is like, no, this is reasonable. This is stuff where things are coming, where things are going to change. And so I feel confident in focusing, in letting the things open naturally. Not trying to force things and make things happen. And just let things happen naturally, because there's somewhere you're supposed to be. There's a direction that you have that's already set. It's your flight plan. And, but, in life, then you can start feeling like this is taking a long time. Whoa. And you start trying to force things, I want to do this, I want to do that. But part of the life's journey is learning how to be present, and to realize, like, that the reason things are happening the way they're happening is there is a reason. And it has to do with your transits. It has to do with the people you encounter, and the lessons that you learn, and the triggers that you have to overcome. And so it's all a part of your destiny. It's all a part of your growth. It's your life journey. So I totally believe that all of the restrictions and stuff are going to start being lifted. HOAs are going to lose their grasp. But, when people have money, they're not going to go out and put a dumpy thing out on property. They're going to be going, putting nice places. So our standards will change, because we won't all be poverty and just trying to survive. We'll be able to be creative human beings, earthlings, whatever you want to be, then and we get to make different choices for ourselves. And I was trying to explain to her too about the money thing. Like, we've been the slaves that built this place up, and the people that took advantage of us are going down because the energy they put out is coming back on them. But what we put out was building this place up, and it's coming back to us. So everything it goes round and around and around, and so the all the good things that were built here is going to come back to us. So it's going to come back and building in new communities and stuff. But everything about the money and how everything is going to be different. So that's why, yeah, you got to set your standards up higher. And what if you were a rich person? What would you want in life? And so, anyways, I feel certain restrictions and stuff like that are going to be stopping. Oh, but there was another good thing too while I was with my daughter, because I was like trying to figure out the truck, and I was talking to her, and I was trying to figure out, like, well, if I take the truck and I have to drive, and she's like, well, what would you drive an empty truck back? And I said, yeah, but how can I rent a car and then turn it in somewhere else? I said, I mean, I'm kind of stuck. And then she was asking me the dates, and so she's going to try and follow me, which also, if she follows me in my car, and I leave the dogs here so my mom can babysit them, because it's just going to be like overnight. I'm just going to go up, get the truck, load it up. And one of the downsides, though, of the smaller truck is they don't have the fucking ramp. It's like, fuck. So some of that furniture and stuff, there's no fucking way. So I don't know. I'll drive the smaller truck, and maybe I'll get comfortable driving that, and then I can go the step up, and then I'd be like, okay, I could drive this truck, get the rest of the stuff, and it has a ramp. And that may take like 2 days or something to unload. I don't know, we'll see, but I'm going to take a couple of trips over there. This one, I'm just going to see it, meet up with my sister-in-law and see it, so I'll get more thing in my head of how I'm going to, what I'm going to do. And then, which I've also got to build like a little fence thing, so when the dogs come out the door, they have like a little yard. They can't just take off and go, because, I don't know, it'd be danger. And so I'm going to do that. But anyway, so I have stuff to do over the next few weeks. It seems like it's going to be super hectic, because I want to be there by the end of October. And so, and then this whole next week is going to be dog sitting, and then I'm going to drive down, so that will start the whole thing. And then I've got appointments with the groomer, and she set another one too. Once I told her, she set another one, so I have more appointments to do over the next few weeks, which is, it helps some financially. So then, because this is all costing a lot of money, Then, let me think. The restrictions going off makes me feel like, I just feel like in the future, we're not going to have all that bullshit, and we will be able to get things, and things aren't going to be so inflated. I just think things are going to be so much different. It's going to be so much better. And I can see that. So, other people can't. So I sound like a crazy person. Oh, yeah, okay, Kelly. But, I feel certain these things are coming and everything's going to be fine. So that's going to be my plan. And he already had said, yeah, sure, you can build a house out there. Because it improved his place. And he goes, but I want to stay too. And I was like, yeah, we'll just share it. It's like, he's got his big giant building. And then maybe I can buy more property to add on to it too. And I said something about that 12 acres. He said, that's like $1 million. Well, that's another thing. It's going to be changing. Property, or ending property tax. There's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to be changing. And we have this land, and there's no access to this. It makes sense that they would be like, hey, yeah, you want to take care of this land too? And so, anyways, we'll see how things keep rolling. But, I'm in this mode of manifesting for the new earth or the new way of life, or living your best dreams and stuff. So I'm gonna dream big. I'm gonna get that land. I'm gonna get this fun cool ass house. I'm gonna get my art studio. Because then that other acreage, see, they can, if other family members wanted to come out and build, then all that acreage over there, and then there's access, right? Because there'd be a driveway, and we just make a road go right up through theirs. So it would be easy. But anyways, I can see the dream, and so I feel excited. And then so the dog thing. So I was on the plane yesterday and talking to all this. So what I had done was I had Googled animal transport, pet transport, dog transport, something like that, because I know that these rescues transport dogs all over the place. There's transport going on all over the place. And so I was like, I know that's out there. How do I find it? So there's there's websites or apps or something. So they're like under an umbrella, but then they're all independent contractors under the umbrella. And the one I got was Citizen Shipper. And so there's all these different people running their own business that Citizen Shipper has vetted. And then I picked one because there was like connections. A gypsy, her thing is Gypsy. She's a nurse, or a retired traveling nurse. And so she has medical background too, so for the dogs and stuff like that. And then her name is the same name as one of my nieces. So I was like, okay, this is the one I'm picking out of all these people. And her price was more reasonable for some of the other people. And then so I was talking to her a lot yesterday. And then somebody tried to come in a lowballer. And he seemed like, he had good reviews and stuff. This girl has a lot of reviews. She does a lot of this. And but so they just go around picking up dogs and just travel around, and then they get paid. That's their job. Like, they make this their nomadic life of going around and moving all these pets, not just dogs, and it's people who have pets and they're moving from state to state, and so they have these people move their pets so their pets don't have to, there's a lot to do when you're moving. Not everybody wants to put stuff in a moving truck. Not everybody has a car to follow them. So anyways, these people do the moving of your pets too. So anyways, there's lots of them, lots. And they're all different prices. And they all get to set their own price. And they just go all over the place. And then, and I found that it's better to kind of see what dates they have open. If you just give a certain date, it can be more expensive too if you're more open on the dates. So this one is going to be in the middle. She's picking up this puppy on October 11th, and she's going to drop him down in Boise. So I'm going to, but I was planning on being there that weekend. But then it's like, look, it depends on what days. So hopefully, I'm going to talk to her more in the next few days, she said. And hopefully get it figured out, like, when do you really think you'll be there? Because I got to be staying there the whole time. And so that'll make a difference over when I go and take some stuff. And then I got to be back for appointments with a groomer. And so, anyways, but everything is going, like, fitting in well. So I'm just going to trust that's going to go right, too. And so I'm definitely getting that puppy. And I've already paid the deposit and set up the thing. So she will go pick up the puppy, and then I'll meet her over at the place, because I told her I'm moving back and forth. And so I can try, and I said, which place would be better for you, in Boise or by Spokane? And she said Boise. And so I was like, okay, well, and then the date she picked was on my thing that I already had it over there that I was going to be going. But that's what I learned in reading the reviews and stuff, is it can take a few days, because they'll drive over here, pick up another one, drive over here, drop this one off, drive over here. So it's like a lot of, all ricocheting. to get the thing. So it's not like they say, okay, well, we're just, but you can pay extra to just have a solo trip. You're just going to go get your pet, drive it straight to you. But I think it costs way more. I'm just, you know, jumping onto the route. And it's like the bus stop. Pick mine up on the way. So, anyways, so I am getting that puppy. And I'm so excited too because I wanted Stella to train. And I wanted a girl so bad. I love girls. And, but I was like, there's no way I could have an adult girl come and Stella and her would just fight. And, but this one is a puppy, which I wanted Stella to get experience of having a puppy. And I wanted her, even though it's like 5 months old or something now, it'll be like 6 months old. So it's already potty trained, which when I was thinking about, I was like, man, it would be a lot more convenient to get a puppy that's a little bit older when I was manifesting back in the, because this is something that I was studying for, a couple of years ago. I was thinking about this stuff. And I was like, have one that's not potty. That's even before I started fostering. I've had Max for, I've had fucking Archie now for like a year, and I've had Max for even longer. So, so yeah, it was a couple of years ago when I started manifesting, you know, what I wanted in another animal, and I wanted a girl because I love the way girls are very, I don't know, they're a different personality than the boys, and emotional, like, you know how emotional she is. She starts whining, and then and she's got to be right on top of me and stuff. But she's very protective of me. She's very, I don't know, it's just, I don't know, like girl relationship or something. And like bonding with your girlfriends or something on the, you know, I don't know. I know she picks up on my thoughts and everything. So and that she gets to raise her up. She gets to train her. And that was like super important to me because Stella is such a good girl, and she's so, well, I think she's well behaved. Some people are like, oh my God, she doesn't stop barking. If somebody comes around, then she's just like, like, you better watch yourself. You should have seen last night when I came in. I came walking up the stairs, and they're all out on the deck in the back porch. And they were barking because they could hear somebody outside the driveway. So I walk up and I open the door, and they're all looking at me, and it takes them a minute, like, wait a minute. And then they just went crazy. And I just kept looking at Stella, and she's laying there, and she's looking at me, and then all of a sudden she's like, Mom's home. She gets up, and she gets so excited. She comes in, she starts jumping up and down, and she's just so excited. All the dogs are excited. They're all jumping. They're all going crazy. And then she's like, starts yelling at them, like, calm down, everybody calm down. And she'll just get, you know, like, she's very alpha, but she's not just trying to be a bitch. She's like, tries to control the craziness. And so I wanted her, like, if these two go wild and they go out and start going crazy, she'll jump up and go out just like a mom, you know, knock it off. It's so funny too because I saw this video where I was like, is this AI? And it was gorilla. And I think it was, some of it's the gorilla dad and some is the gorilla mom, and it shows these videos. I guess it must be in one of those zoos or something. And there's two babies, and the babies will be going crazy and doing stuff and throwing stuff and doing all sorts of stuff, and what the big gorilla will do. And it was just reminding me like of Stella. It was just sitting there and it only uses roaring. And but then there was other times too, like he's just sitting there and they're going crazy and they start hitting him, and he's just sitting there like, it was so cute. Oh my God, it was so cute. There was a whole bunch of stuff. It was like, this is what's like being a parent, and you know, across the board, no matter what animal you are, being a parent can be frustrating, ordeal, whatever. And but anyway, so I wanted Stella to get the experience because she does go up and try and like clean Archie. Archie's just like, I swear to gosh, like Edward G. Robinson with his tomorrow, could I just put up with it? And so, but this puppy will be more like, she'll be pulled away from her mom. She's been with her mom this whole time, and so she'll be like wanting, you know, another mom. But Stella will also be like strict on her. She'll tell her, you can't do this, you can't do that. And still is very strict on the rules. So anyways, I just feel like it's the perfect thing. And so, and then plus it is like, I don't know, to me it's like rescuing, because rescuing this dog, because my niece found the mom on the side of the freeway. And so she just grabbed this dog off the side of the freeway and took it home. And was like, oh my God, this dog was dumped out here. And so she took it and started taking care of it, and figured it was pregnant. She had to go through the pregnancy. Then the dog had puppies, and not all of them were coming out, so she had to take it in and get a C-section. So she's done all this stuff, but she was telling my daughter, she feels certain this dog is her spirit animal. It found her. This is the kind of shit that happens. This is what is so crazy when I see these people find these dogs come to them in the streets and stuff, and then they take them to the shelter. It's like, this dog's coming to you for a reason, and you're learning lessons. So I mean, your lesson is like not connecting. So anyways, but she's really connected. And so she had 3 living puppies, and the other ones, they weren't living, and the mom dead the whole time. They died trying to get from having the puppies to get to the ER, and so they died during childbirth and during puppy birth. So so she found somebody who wanted one of them. So somebody got one, and I don't know if she sold it or what, but now these ones are getting older, and she's like, I'm not even trying to sell them. I'm just, wanting to find homes. And I was just like, oh my God, I love this one. It's so, the boy and the girl look just alike, the one she had. And she's like, yeah, I'm surprised that these two, that somebody took the plain brown one before somebody took these two, because they got, more unique coloring. And back in, when I've been manifesting, that was what it would stand out to me. These certain things, this kind of coloring, and the blue eyes. Like, there was these certain things where I was like, excuse me, lady. Certain things where I was like, oh, this is what I want. This is what I want. And see, manifesting isn't just snap and is there. And you have opportunities, I think, throughout, but you tune more into what is it you really, really want, because you know in your soul. And so, and then here it comes. And I love these American bullies. And she did the DNA to try and see, like, what are these dogs? And they're 100%. That's why I was saying, it seems like this dog was dumped from a breeder or something, because how would she have full bred puppies? Why wouldn't it be a mix? So, anyways, but anyway, there's so many dogs still in the shelters and stuff like that, and I see them all the time. But when I see them, they're always pretty far away from me. They're like Dallas, Florida, and stuff like that. But now I see you can transport them, you can get them and transport them and all that stuff. And but I still feel like because she can't take care of these dogs. She's got 3 kids and 3 dogs right now, and so anyways, she's super excited. She's super excited. It's going to a family member, and I'll be sending her pictures and videos all the time. She'll get to keep up with this puppy's life forever. And so, anyways, she's excited. I'm excited, and the whole thing just seems to be just fitting. That's the thing. Is like, you can get so frustrated where you're at, and you can want to force things. Like, believe you me, like, if you watched other videos, like how I've been like, oh, so some certain points, it's just like, oh God, I've just got to make it happen. Nothing's happening. And you're just sitting there waiting. It's like, it feels like you're just sitting there waiting, even though you're trying to live your life and have fun and do things and be in the here and now and deal with the things that you deal with. Then it still can feel tedious and like, I just got to do this, I got to do that. And then you'll have people around you, who are real 3D. Well, this is what you got to do, this is what you got to do. And it's like, but I knew in my heart of hearts that I was breaking free from that. And so I had to just keep myself and focus on what it was I wanted, focus on like seeing it and locking in, knowing what I wanted and going towards it and keep going towards it. Even when people think you're a kook, you can keep going towards it. And my brother yesterday, when I was on the plane too, he started saying, well, do you have bill collectors chasing you down? Do you have people showing up trying to get stuff from you? Like, are they going to start trying to go after the land? I'm like, well, I'm not on the land. It's like, they can't, if I went and rented an apartment, they can't go to my landlord and say, give us your apartment building because you got this lady living in it. I said that they can't do shit. I said, besides the fact, this is my third house to lose. I have been through this experience before. It's just gone. It's gone, and you just go forward. Where they hit you is your credit score, because they want to keep you trapped in the system. And then people, what they'll do, because I built my credit score up several times, do everything I can to build back up, to get back to where I was. And this time was different. This time was like I saw through the bullshit. I saw through the enslavement and stuff. And the thing that was really getting me was watching what they were doing to people. Like, I can just play along, pay my shit and stuff, and be broke as fuck as like everybody else. But they were fucking people. They were fucking people who were poor, people who were old, and he was stuck, and then raising the rent, taking away their jobs, and then leaving them with nowhere to go. And I was like, this is some bullshit. And that's why, to me, I was one of those people who just wanted to flood them. Like, fuck you guys then. I'm not paying either. Fuck off. You take my house, take my house. I'm not playing your fucking bullshit. Because to me, how I see it is more like, slaves, and I'm breaking out. I'm like, no, I'm not going to be your slave anymore. And I told my brother, I said, you're more like, he goes, yeah, well, I have to pay my stuff and all that stuff. The same thing my mom would say. I said, yeah, well, we need all things. Because us people who are breaking free, we also need a place to go. You're like the Underground Railroad. We need places to be able to go where, people aren't going like, what's your credit score? And so that we have the freedom to take this system down, to break it. And so, yeah, it's not like a wrong or right that anybody's doing. It all works together to create change. And so me having a place to go when I'm going against the system saves me. It's like this circuit, this Underground Railroad thing. Like, well, you can stop here, you can stop here. But I feel like this next stop is the one that's going to be like, because it meets so many things, being on the river. And we'll see. I already ordered the little boots for the dogs. So those are supposed to be there in the next couple of days. So hopefully they fit, because they need these little boots to go out there and walk until all these thorny things are cleared off. There's some kind of little, I guess they're those big burrs. I can't remember what they call them, but some kind of plant that has the big ones. And they said they step on them. You have to wear rubber shoes. I had to get the dogs all rubber shoes to wear out there. And then Stella loves to get in the water. The water is moving, so it's not going to be a stagnant bacteria water, even though I know they're spraying rivers too. But all that spraying and stuff is, it's getting to a stop. It's going to stop. They're not going to continue doing this. And for it to be shallow and not moving too fast, she can just go out there and go in the water, come back. It's completely safe. So I feel super good about that. And the water is pretty close to the barn thing that I'm going to be in. And then, so if I build the house across from that, it's going to be like right on the river. It's going to be so fucking cool. So anyways, I feel really excited. And when you just keep going towards what it is you're manifesting, but that's the thing, is like, you really got to get in touch with yourself of what you're manifesting, what you're here for, what you're, because people are so confused. Like, people really think you go and start pounding doors down and trying to force doors open is, going for what you want. But sometimes what you want isn't what you're here for. Because I already had that experience. I had all sorts of plans I was working on before I got my brain injury and lost my license and stuff. And like, I had a plan. I was retiring early. I was getting a house down south, and I was having a house up here. I had this whole thing. I was already working towards it and stuff. And then I go sliding into home base on that brain injury. It's like, nope, you're not going and doing any of that. You're going in a whole new direction. It's like, what? That's where you feel like life is like, what the fuck is going on? It just flips you upside down. But then as you go more into it, then you start seeing the benefit. You start seeing, oh, I see. Like, I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm going in a new direction. And so, anyways, I feel like things are moving. It doesn't feel so stagnant. It feels like, and it's funny because I kept having these tarot readers pop up and they would say, you're moving, things are going to start moving real fast. And now it feels like, oh, okay. Because now it does feel like, oh my gosh, I'm looking at my calendar. Okay, that day, that. Go there, gotta get there. Oh my God. It's like I've got all this stuff that I gotta go get done and everything. So things are moving faster. Things are going in a direction now. And it was like I was trying to push, like trying to push this rock up a hill for my life. And then it fell back on me. And then I had to go a different direction. I couldn't do that anymore. I had to go a different direction, which it seemed like you're in the dark. It's tedious. Like what's happening? You just keep trudging along. And then it can feel like, at certain points, you can feel like, I'm drowning. Is this ever even going to happen? What's happening? And then all of a sudden, it just opens up. And it's like, oh, okay. And you just keep going. And it's still like there's more to the journey. I mean, it's not ended yet. It's just getting started. Doors are just opening. So anyways, I just feel super excited. But when you're manifesting, this is the thing, is people like these spiritual people out here trying to teach these teachings of manifesting. Just picture it and then you'll be there. And if you're not there, not doing it right. It's like, well, you're not teaching right. And all they want you to do is just jump out of your bad life and jump into your good life. And you just do it overnight. You just jump from here to there. It's like they're not teaching right. So that's why I've got to tell you and talk about it so that you can see, like, this is how it works. This is how it works. This is how it really, really works. And it takes time. And it takes you, I don't know, it's like you fitting into, yeah, it's like, visuals like I'm seeing is like, somebody preparing for their wedding and then them fitting into the dress. So it's like you start having to fit into the life that you're trying to prepare, the life you're trying to go towards. You got to fit it. And so that's the journey. That's why you can't jump from there to here. It is like, because you wouldn't fit. You wouldn't fit. Your vibration wouldn't fit. You don't fit. You have to take the steps to get there. And maybe your dress, you need to gain weight. Maybe you need to lose weight. Maybe, it's the mind, body, spirit journey to come into yourself, to find yourself. And it has so much to do with healing and stuff. Your body's talking to you. Your body's telling you things. And, and I was sick, man. I was sick as fuck. And so I had to, and my thing is because the Western medical had been failing me so many times. Every time I turned to them, it was like they were just kicking me. They were like digging my grave for me and kicking me in the teeth, telling me to get in it. And so I had to, at some point, when they had beat me down enough, they had double black eyes, fucked up stunt, like everything that they fucking had done. Then at some point I had to say, okay, I gotta go in a new direction. And I don't know, it's so intertwined. It's like I'm sure my guides were pushing that direction towards me, and there was periods of times I just couldn't see it. But then as soon as I get my face out of here, like, oh, they're gonna fix me, and then all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, what about this over here? And so everything just started happening naturally. And then my health started improving. I started healing. I started getting better. I started focusing and changing directions and seeing hope, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, like going a new direction, and trust where I'm being led. And it's a whole new game, man. It's a whole change. So it is, but it takes, that you just, to me, is you got to realize that's what you're here for. That's what you're here to do. It's not like, well, that's so hard, or that's what you're here to do. You're here to transform yourself. You're here to metamorphosize. You're here to uh, become enlightened, to walk the path, to create a new path. It's the journey of life. You're not. It's not about just like well, for some people, yeah, it's like they just seem like, oh, how lucky. Everything just opens for them right away. But people don't recognize, oh, those openings also have lessons. It's not just like oh, well, they got it easy. No, everybody has lessons. Doesn't matter what your life journey is, you have lessons, and you always have to be maneuvering and figuring out, am I going to keep going this way? Am I going to go this way? We're all trying to think that. Like, and so many people get in these roadblocks too, of like, you come to the fork in the road, and it's like, do I go this way? Do I go that way? Do I go And I've been there, and I've known so many people. Do I take this job? Do I take that job? Do I move here? Do I move there? Do I do this? Do I do that? And you're always going to do the same thing. We overthink the shit, and we gotta be way more if just see, okay, I don't know which way I'm going because the door hasn't opened yet. We'll see. Because just because both these doors, like you get 2 job offers, it's like, well, do I want this job or do I want that job? There's more to see. But it could be your lesson, but you're always going to pick the one you pick. It doesn't matter. You don't have to overthink it. Even though everybody does, okay, well, I get this at this one, I get this at this one, well, I have this, I have that, I go this, I go that. And we just dissect the fuck out of it, but that can be a part of your growth and learning. So whatever you do is always what you're going to do, and you're always going to end up where you end up. And so it is, and that is your journey. But to, I don't know, recognize that it is the journey. And that's what you're, and then when you go to the job, it's not like, oh, I picked the wrong one. Now I'm stuck with these assholes. It would have been the same fucking thing at the other one. This is the journey. And so the assholes, they're there to trigger you so that you grow from whatever it is that your experience is. So you transform and go to the next experience. Then you transform, go to the next experience, transform, go to the next experience. And along the way, you become like a better version of yourself, but you also become more defined in the direction you want to go to, which to me is tapping more into the direction you came here to do. So it's like finding your destiny, your purpose, and getting on that trail. And where, like I said, you start going on that trail, and everybody who's standing outside of it starts telling you, you're crazy. What are you doing? You got to do this to get there. You got to do this to get over there. What are you trying to do over there? It's like, I don't know. This is how I feel led. This is where I'm going. And it may not make sense to them. And then that's where you have so many lessons in learning in your sovereignty and being independent and being more connected to your soul and your communication. And so that to me is what the whole thing's about. It's this soul's journey. It's this, in the obstacles are this 3-dimensional obstacles, the draw over here, these people over there telling you this over there. That's the obstacles. That's the thing to put you off your path. But you have to, but just like when I was off my path, I was going through shitty relationships, thinking those were my answer, going through shitty jobs, thinking that was my answer. It was like I was way off path, and to the point where it was like, now you're broken, now you got to start back over. And it was like, but man, when it happens, I'm telling you, it is devastating. You'll feel just beat down, sad, depressed, like overburdened, overwhelmed. But that is the universe giving you a gift. It's like, going back to go. It's like you're through the game, and then you get the card, you pull the card, go back to start. And it's like, what? Go back to start. But then you go on a new path. And then it's like, oh, this one's better. Like, it's a pretty good thing that I got sent back, because now I got a better one going. Because the other one was tedious. It was hard. I was miserable as a motherfucker. Fuck, I was miserable. Fuck, man. I was fucking miserable. That right there was why I was so sick. I was miserable as shit. because I wasn't on the right path. I wasn't going in the right direction. And so when you'll know when you're going more in the right direction because you'll feel better. You feel better. You start looking better. You start. Uh, it's just the better. It's like everything gets better, you know. So that's what I gotta say about it. Starting to get light. We're gonna start getting ready to go. But over the next week, I'm just gonna be sitting in my daughter's apartment with all these dogs. My whole thing is gonna be just walking dogs all day, and because there's not like a little yard. Like that's what the fucking bullshit is with apartments too. You don't get any fucking yard. Everything is just so contained and controlled. That's all they fucking want to do is control and contain us, make us miserable. And then, and then all these people, like, they can't keep their pets. They go and give them away. It's just we create this really toxic environment by the way the lifestyle they try and get us to live. It's like against our nature. It's against nature. It's against, but we follow their path and we become miserable sons of bitches. But there's a lot of lessons to learn being in your misery, breaking free from your misery. But anyways, so not right now. But that doesn't mean that there won't be something that will come, because there's always, even when you're going, there's things that cross your path that feel like obstacles. Well, and then a lot of times you can be like, well, am I going in the right place? Am I doing the right thing? But just like all these things come to you, just like, she shows me that dog and it's like, oh my God, this dog, I've been manifesting this dog for years. What? And so things just come to you. Like, I wasn't expecting that. I hadn't even thought about that dog that she had saved and the puppies or anything. She just came over and she was talking about it, showing people pictures of the puppies. And I was like, oh, let me see. And then I was like, oh my God. I didn't say it to everybody there, but to me, I'm like, oh my God, this is the dog I've been manifesting. I was like, oh my gosh, I really want this little puppy. She's like, really? Really? Oh, that'd be so cool. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm serious. I really do. And then it was like I was coming up against obstacles. Like, you couldn't take it on the plane if you hadn't set it up 48 hours ahead. And there was a lot to do. I was like trying to figure out the weight and if I could fit him under the seat. And then if you're going to take him as cargo, it's like way expensive. And so there was like obstacles. And, but it still seemed that was the direction I was supposed to go. And so it was like, okay, something's going to work out, so just keep going. What's the next step? So just because you hit an obstacle doesn't mean you're going the wrong direction. It means that there's something else. So go around it, climb over it, just keep maneuvering through the obstacle course to get to the destination of where you're led to. That's my advice. This, sitting and just manifesting by visioning, spend all day envisioning the life you want. Don't go towards it. Just sit and think about it, which you need to think about it. You need to put it into, create it. But the way their teachings are is just envision it. You got to go towards it. You got to take action. And then, jump from your worst life to your best life. Just jump. It's like, well, I don't know how you're going to get there. I think you're just going to bounce back because your vibration doesn't work. Your vibration isn't a match. So your best life doesn't match who you are until you take the journey to get there. So anyways, there's a lot of people out there teaching that I believe are not teaching right. And my teachings isn't just something I read in a book. My teachings is my life and going through this my own self, doing it, taking the path. And I've been walking the spiritual path since, I left the church, when I was 19 or something like that. And where I was like, no longer is it God in control. It was me, and taking responsibility and then tuning into my guidance. And then there was a lot of times where I was like, what the hell? Just like when I would get married to this person, I'd think, oh, I thought this was like my soulmate. I thought this was going to be good. Well, it took me a long time to realize, like, a lot of your soulmates are there to teach you hard lessons. So they're there to create the board, the wall for you to bounce back from. So they're there to push you. And just like, you got to realize you're there pushing them too. And so it's pushing you into the things you need to heal, the things you need to grow out of, the things you've been carrying through life after life, your karma, your karmic debt, your the hostility that you have become from having all the bad things happen after life after life after life. So you have lessons and stuff to go and learn to help you grow out of who you were and become who like I said, it's like this going back to yourself, going back to your higher self. And to get there is a freaking journey. And it's not just one lifetime, it's a lot of lifetimes. And then each one is the building blocks. Each one's the step up, step up, step up. But like I said, they keep people so confused and going in the wrong directions. And it's like, yeah, I see now, like at the carnival, how they have bumper cars and everybody's just bumping into it and just going around like, no, I don't know, and the car's just driving all crazy and nobody knows where they're going. That's the difference. And yeah, okay. Also at the amusement park, when you get in the old jalopies and they have like the little road, and you feel like you're driving your jalopy, but it's on the little thing, and you got just you on your path, you on your road, and your little jalopy going along where you need to go. Nobody's bumping into you, but you go around turns and you meet people and stuff. So there is things that feel like obstacles, but it's not this chaos like the bumper cars. I mean, most of this world is just in the bumper cars. Just like, where am I going? What am I doing? Where am I? Who? But once you can get off that ride and get onto the other one, it's like, oh, okay. But it takes a lot of forgiving yourself and healing yourself. And because I could sit here and just be stuck like, God, I was such an idiot, I was such a piece of shit, I was the worst person, and I'm abused. And you can grab these labels and sit and feel sorry for yourself all day long. That's your choice. That's your lesson right there. And then you may not learn it until you get to your life review. And then once you get over there, it's like, oh my God, I spent my whole fucking life doing that? Instead of like, all I had to do was go around it. All I had to do was get up and take action. So it's big lessons. But right now, you have the opportunity to start learning them as this world is falling apart. So this world is falling apart. It's crumbling around us so that the game's breaking. The bumper car game's breaking, so we have to get off the ride and go find another one. And so, anyways, that's the way I look at it. So, may as well have a little gander at the hair, see what's happening on this situation. And I'm taking my light thing with me. Everybody's got such, well, I mean, it's not like everybody. I mean, I had shitty light at my house too. That's why I got this thing. Man, when you don't have, because I didn't take this on the airplane because it's big ring light. And so it just gives you lighting around, which is so much better when it has lighting over here, lighting over there. Like, I didn't realize so much stuff about lighting. Lighting is a thing, and it makes like these shadows. It makes things look, it's weird. So, anyways, but I like this light, just like this. It's like it's not having all these shadows, like, and some of them with the lights over here, then it's like, because I do have deep set eyes. I've said that before. I have small, deep set eyes, and so when some of the lighting, you can't even see my eyes. I swear to God, they're like sunk back in the back of my head or something. So, but it's funny too, because wherever you go, depending on the lighting, I swear to God, now I've been doing, it's like you look different everywhere you go, depending on the lighting, which is another weird thing. Like, why do we get so hung up on what we look like? It's way more better to be hung up on the person you are, who you are on the inside, what you're putting out in the world. That's the thing to get hung up on. And when you don't like it, work on it. Become the better version of yourself. And don't be held back. Like, they want to get people trapped under diagnoses and labels and all that shit. You got to pull free from that shit. Excuse me, lady. She's doing it. I mean, when yesterday she just came up the stairs and Mom says she just turned around and she's just laying in the kitchen. So she's doing better with her hips, even though right now she's a little stiff, walking slow. But she went up and down the stairs yesterday. But she's going to go sit in the car. She hates it. So she's gonna be real stiff for the next couple days. But I think I'll go give them a little walk and get ready to go. She smells like I said. She smells so sweaty all the time when she gets up. Ew. So, but she is a large lady, so and she does have some stinky sweat. So, anyways, if there was anything else, I'm thinking, oh, I'm gonna grab that yeast stuff and take it with me, put it in the water over there, and because I think some of that sweaty smell is yeasty. So, and all the dogs can benefit from that. So I'll put it in their drinking water so all the dogs get some of that. But anyways, okay, so let's look at this. When I was telling my sister yesterday, because she was sitting at the airport with us because her flight took out after ours, and I showed her my tooth and I told her what was going on. And she's like, what? What? You can grow it? And I said, yes. Before my appointment, it was already growing back. So I was like, no, I'm not going to go do it. I'm just going to keep seeing where this goes. But I had already heard that teeth grow back. So yeah, I've been doing it. And I think it's getting better and better. So it's better to me. Especially if you go back to when it broke and you look at those, like, yeah, that's something totally different. Anyways, and I'm gonna keep using those wipes, even though I'm not really sure. But this spot right here, to me, is the one to watch because it is. I have a few, like this one. Is it? Yeah, this one. There's one right here. There's a couple right here. I've got tons of freckles all everywhere, but the ones that start becoming like a big color spot. So I have a few of those, but we'll see if these wipes, take them off. I don't really care. I mean, I personally don't feel like, oh, you're hideous. I like them. So I think it gives people something unique or something about, how they look or whatever. So anyways, here comes my mom. But just remember that to learn how to love yourself, learn how to love everybody, and learn how to have the day you want to have. And then I will talk to you tomorrow. So talk to you later. Bye.